Hi, I'm Dan Novick, Principal.
I'm Colleen Bright, Assistant Principal.
I'm Cheryl Chrisman, Dean of Students.
And we're here on the road with you to help your student transition to a brand new adventure called middle school.
And with your help, we will be the best middle school in America.
Welcome home.
We feel really good about the amount of homework that we put into our transition to a middle school. 2 years ago, our district formed a transition committee made up of all the schools and looked at reconfiguration district-wide. We looked at the American Middle Level Educators' This We Believe book, which talked about best practices for middle school students to support them academically and social-emotionally. We visited 4 middle schools 2 years ago and got a feel for what middle school really was like and how different it was from junior highs. And then this year, our building leadership team at John Sedgwick divided up into 3 task forces made up of a multitude of people, stakeholders throughout our community. And we looked at 3 primary areas. We looked at structure of a middle school, we looked at instruction and assessment, and we also looked at the culture of a middle school. Along with that, we went and visited 3 or 4 more middle schools this year, including Sumner Middle School, which we'll tell you a little bit more about in just a second.
As we make our journey from being a junior high to a middle school, our priorities have always been to do what's best for our kids. We have done a lot of research, we've visited a lot of places, and we've done a lot of talking. So we think we know what would probably be the best for our kids. We have embraced a true middle school model, which is very different from that of a junior high. It's not junior high light, rather a whole philosophy and way of doing business that addresses the needs of students at the middle school level. And we didn't want to reinvent the wheel. There were a lot of really good models out there for us to take a look at and to steal what the best was from all of them.
So we're so excited about transitioning to our middle school, and we want you to know that we've done our homework so that we could be prepared and ready to open up the middle school. One of the things that we've done is that we've hosted our February 2nd John Sedgwick Middle School Transition Night. Families and students from all 4 of our feeder schools came into our building that night and shared dinner, and also had a presentation on what our building leadership team had been doing in preparation for the transition. So we've had a culture task force, a curriculum and instruction task force, and also a structure task force to do that work. So on our middle school transition night, we gave a presentation on that information and also conducted a parent survey where we want your input on the transition as well. On February 8th, the staff heard the building leadership team recommendations, and also on February 16th, those recommendations were presented to the South Kitsap School District administration. And so that all 3 of our middle schools, junior highs, are transitioning to a middle school format, and we're all on the same page.
Of all the middle schools that we visited, the one that impressed us the most was Sumner Middle School. It had the best feel from a culture standpoint. It also had the best academic model. Let me tell you a little bit about that model. Just like we have, Sumner has a 6-period day, but instead of having an advisory period every single day of the week, they do an hour-long advisory 1 day a week. Also within that model, during the 6 periods, it provides for a gradual release for our students. What I mean by that is 6th graders would have 4 teachers, and math and science would be blocked along with English language arts and social studies. In the 7th grade, students would have 5 teachers, and ELA and social studies would be blocked, math and science would not. And then in the 8th grade, in preparation for the transition to high school, none of the classes would be blocked, and each 8th grader would have 6 different teachers. We would still stay on a semester model. And then the really cool thing about this new model, the Sumner model, is that we would be able to offer intervention for students during the school day rather than doing it during advisory or trying to do some kind of after-school tutoring. And then with that comes enrichment periods for our kids as well. So it's an opportunity for kids to get the help that they need and also to get the exploration, enrichment, elective classes that they need. One of the concerns that staff and parents share alike is backpacks. And we have a couple concerns about those. One is they tend to get in the way when they're on the floor in the classrooms. But another major concern we have is the sheer amount of weight that kids are carrying on their backs with their backpacks loaded up. So we saw a model at one of the middle schools we visited where backpacks were not allowed to be carried around during the school day. Students would take their books home with them in their backpacks for homework, and then when they came to school in the morning, they would drop those backpacks off in their lockers and then just use the books that they needed between their class periods. And this solved the problem of backpacks. Let's talk binders and planners. One of the strengths of our AVID program is the organizational system it provides for our students. In particular, the 3-inch AVID 3-ring binder. Now, in the past, students at John Sedgwick have used planners, but we have found that students are using planners less and less. And we also have found that students really need a home organization system that they can take into any class at the junior high level, the high school, or even at the college level. And the AVID binders are something that we believe are going to help all of our students maintain a more organized system, which will help them stay up to pace in each of their classes. While we've made a lot of really important decisions, there are a few things that are still to be determined that we'd like to study a little bit more. One has to do with lunches. Currently we do mixed grade level lunches, but we've also seen models where lunches are divided up by grade level. So that'll be a really important decision that's on the horizon. Secondly, activity buses. We know that kids do best in school when they're involved in clubs and after-school sports. And so we're trying to work with our district right now to see if we can run an activity bus at least 2 days a week next year. So stay tuned for a decision on that. Finally, 6th grade sports. Currently, 6th graders can do cross country, they can wrestle, and they can do track and field. And there's an amendment before the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association, which is considering allowing 6th graders to participate fully in middle school athletics. That decision is due out on May 5th, so we'll know more then. And whatever that decision is, we may consider some form of intramurals for 6th graders. So that's another decision that's looming on the horizon.
So what's next for us as we close out our school year and prepare for the next school year? The counselors have been down to all of the elementary schools to take course requests from them. We are drafting a master schedule to incorporate all those requests, plus put together all the things that kids need to take next year. And at the moment, we are hiring some new staff members, and hopefully we will have everybody in place so they can go to our in-services this summer and be ready to hit the ground running when September comes along.
We hope that you're excited to get started, because we certainly are. And we want to let you know about some important events coming up as we transition to middle school and as our 8th and 9th graders transition up to the high school. So on May 24th, here at John Sedgwick, we're going to have an incoming parent night. That's from 6:30 to 7:30 here in the Commons. During the months of May and June, we're having our Link Crew, which is our Where Everybody Belong counterpart at the high school, come down and visit our 8th and 9th graders here at our school. And then we have our 5th and 6th grade students coming to John Sedgwick for about a 2-3 hour stay, where students will come around, take a tour, and they get to have lunch here at school. So our 6th grade students will be coming in on June 1st, and we're looking forward to 5th graders on June 2nd. Can't wait to see ya.
And to help you along this journey, we have 3 great back-to-school events planned for you. On August 23rd and 24th, we will have our student orientation days, otherwise known as general admission. On those days, students will be able to come in and they will be able to get their picture taken. They will get a locker on that day. They'll also be able to pay all the fees that they might have for PE clothes or for sports, etc.
The second big event we have is open house. That is the evening of August 30th. And families and students can come to school. We will feed you dinner, and it's a great opportunity for you to meet your teachers and maybe even sign up for a few volunteer opportunities. Students will also be able to pick up their tentative schedules that night.
And the big day, September 6th, is our first day of school. 6th and 7th grade students will be arriving regular time, and we'll have a late arrival for 8th grade. We're so looking forward to seeing you all then.
Welcome home.